From the coach's office, edition 2 of the Pikiell podcast. Rutgers now 6-3 after a terrific win over Seton Hall at the Rock on Saturday, and joined by the man himself, Steve Pikiell. Coach, how are you?
It's nice to state is painted red, excited for our guys. Got a little break in the action, but it's finals, finals time, and we got a lot of academic stuff too. That they're also college students sometimes, but happy for Cliff, MVP. He scored his 1,000th point. There's been only 45 other players in the history of Rutgers basketball, so it puts him in some rare company, and second in the nation in block shots, getting close to being first too. So excited. Team win, everybody. Our freshmen were fantastic. To have Mawat Mag back in the rehab and all the stuff he had to go through to get to that point, he looked fantastic. 8 rebounds in the basketball game, and we'll just continue to make this team better. The rotation's better. He gives us some serious experience, it's a good day. It's been a good week, and we're going to continue to make this a good season.
All right, so let's pick that apart just a little bit. First, the win itself against, a good program in Seton Hall. We know what it means for the state of New Jersey. What does that mean for the team now going forward to get a game like that as you are getting closer and closer to all conference play?
First of all, it's a road win. In college basketball, hardest thing to do is go on the road and win. We hadn't won there in a long, long time. So to go on the road and win, huge rivalry game, obviously. A team that really defends. So we put up 70 points, and I still think we can get to that 80 number, but need everybody and need to get Austin Williams back too. He's another guy that can really score some points. But good. And it was just the team. We had some games where we didn't play as well as we'd like. Give credit to the other team that we played. They played really well. But we just were together. We were together in a lot of ways, and I'm real happy for the guys. They saw the results. We team rebound. We passed the basketball at a high level. Our defense was connected, just very connected. And it starts with your leaders, Mawat and Cliff and Andre and Oscar, and they did a really good job.
And with Cliff, you talk about the block shots. He's been unbelievable rim protecting. What does that do for the rest of the guys defensively, knowing you've got him back there?
Yeah, it changes how you could pressure and pick up points, and just a lot of problems for teams. If they want to try to drive it in the lane, they just have to have on their mind that this guy's leading the nation in block shots. So he's doing a really good job too, and he's got to get some credit for this, of staying out of foul trouble. Because, that wasn't the case a few years ago. So really excited about that. And I like how this team, kind of picked up. I would say the sign of a good team is how you get off the mat. And they got off the mat, they responded, and we'll continue to do that and take a lot of pride in my staff and figuring teams out early in the year. And we're not like anybody else. Everyone's figuring their teams out. It's really a different time in college, basketball. A lot of, newcomers and a lot of transition in programs. And I like where this program could head. I like where this season could head. Need to stay healthy, obviously, but need to keep our veterans, on the court too.
All right, so the veterans a big part, clearly. But the other night, Jamichael Davis I thought he was really the spark early on and throughout the course of the game. Then he scored a lot in the second half. Gavin Griffiths came out and he wanted the ball, made big shots. How about the play of the young guys too?
How about the freshmen? What a lift. And, J. Mike, so athletic and disruptive. I think he had 8 deflections in the game, which just goes to his activity and his quickness and being so involved in the game plan, and has to guard Richmond. And these guys are veterans. These are, 5-year veterans. That he's up against, and he's a true freshman in college, but played with great energy, starting to really understand the verbal part of what needs to be done, really connected, with our players, and has had, really good practices. And Gavin can really score. I know people have seen signs of it and everything, but he's a scorer, showed that the other day. That's a high level game. 2 freshmen to come in and to perform the way they did is just a testament to their work. They're watching film, they're listening, their coachability, and all those things, and fearless.
Yeah, and you could tell. I mean, there was at one point in that game where Jamichael Davis was going back at Richmond going back at him, and he wasn't backing down at all. And you say a fifth-year player, a freshman, didn't seem to matter. All right, so coming up, you're 6-3 now. You've got LIU coming up on Saturday. You've got the Mississippi State game, the game on the 30th, and then it's all conference play. What goes into, you've got some breaks here, obviously, where you've only got one game a week. How much different is it for you guys as a staff getting prepared for these next few games?
Yeah, I mean, get guys healthy is huge. So looking forward to Austin now using this time to get himself back where he is. Emmanuel Ogbo is close to getting cleared, and this time will help him too. Big E can really help us. They have academics too right now, so you got to factor all that in. But we put in some new things for the Seton Hall game, which I think helped us as we're learning about our team. You got some time to implement some new things. I think there's some new defenses too with Mawat Mag back that really help us too in some different areas. So I'm looking forward to the improvement. Like, that's one thing that the season produces: time to watch, time to get some tendencies that you have, time to find out what your newcomers can really do and how they can score. And now you can implement some of that knowledge into the game plan moving forward with practice time.
A wise basketball coach once told me, embrace the journey because the journey is the reward, and you're in the midst of it right now. Lastly, there's been a couple of things. There's been a lot of excitement, around recruiting, what's gone on here. Just talk about the success you're having and the notoriety that this program is now getting.
Well, I tell you, I'm really excited. About the recruiting class, but I'm really excited about our current team too. So you always have that, on the back of your mind. Next year is next year. But it's a real statement to this university. We're 15th ranked public school in the country. Get the best students in the country to come to school here. Now we're getting the best basketball players, to come here. But I always keep my stuff simple. I still want kids that want to be here and kids from great families that are workers. And we did that again, getting this class. Couldn't be more pleased with that. Looking forward to the journey with them. We'll start next year. And looking forward to the journey right now.
All right, time for 3 questions from the fans on social media. First things first, Coach. Greg asks, how much energy did Mawat Mag have with him being back in terms of the entire roster, seeing him on the floor Saturday night?
Well, Mawat gave the entire program energy. He always does. He's an energy giver. The fact that he's able to play 24 minutes in a big basketball game on the road in a huge rivalry tells you a little bit about him and getting back for those kind of games. But he certainly is a guy that plays with that heart and passion. He's a veteran guy, and he's learned. He played behind Ron Harper, and I say this to everyone. He learned every day the value of hard work and staying the course and all that, and he took that into his rehab. He did the same thing with rehab, and now his rewards are that he can play 24 minutes on his first game back and help us, beat a rivalry game and paint the state of New Jersey scarlet.
Pete wants to know, what was the biggest difference from the way the team played at Wake Forest to Saturday night at Seton Hall?
Yeah, there's 100% difference. Sometimes you learn from those games, you really do. And the team took it to heart. We challenged them. Obviously, our senior leadership was off the charts, from Noah to Cliff to Andre, and then to getting Mawat back. Shook up the starting lineup a little bit too. Gave us an opportunity to play some other guys, high energy guys, and the guys came off the bench and did what they were supposed to do. So, during the course of the season, you like to play well every single night. Obviously, it's hard. It's not as easy as people think. But we were able to do that at a high level after bouncing back from a Wake Forest game that didn't go the way we'd like, but it was 48-50 with 9 minutes left. So we dragged ourselves out of a hole, and we got back to a point where we could compete. And then down the stretch, they went on a run, and they completed the game. The other day we completed the game.
Yeah, 50-48 with the ball as well. So could have taken the lead or tied. And the last one to complete it, and it's a good segue. This is from Nick. What goes into making the starting lineup? Would you keep it the same the rest of the season, or do you change it again? Because to me, it worked out great Saturday.
Yeah, you'd love to keep it the same. And tell me no one's going to get an injury, a sprained ankle, COVID. No one's going to have any family emergencies. It's just not like that every day, every week. You're part of your journey. I'd like to think we have a lot of starters anyways. I don't get so caught up in the starting lineup. I want a team out there that's cohesive and working well together. We really did that in the Seton Hall game. Hopefully we can continue on that track, and I'll continue keeping the lineup like that if we can.
Well, Coach, thanks as always for a couple of minutes. Happy holidays and edition 2 of the Pikiell podcast in the books.
So thankful, and thankful for all listeners, and happy holidays to everybody.
More to come with the Pikiell podcast.